Ready.
Am I loud enough?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely
Okay.
loud enough, and we are on the air, people. Welcome to another edition of the Nerd Bender podcast, and today we are talking about the Dragon Ball Z franchise.
Yeah.
Well, not just Dragon Ball Z. We're also going to talk about a little bit about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and
Dragon
even
Ball Super.
So we're gonna, and let's not forget Dragon Ball Z Abridged. We're gonna talk about. And speaking of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, we have a very special guest here for this podcast, and it's none other than MasakoX, who is the voice of Goku and Gohan for Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged. What's up, Masako?
Oh, what, you're talking to me?
Whoa. Where's
No, this is
Masako?
Goku. No, this is Goku.
Goku?
Goku's in our podcast. Oh my
Wait a
god.
minute, you're not supposed to be here. Where's Masako?
I don't know. I'll kill him again. He didn't give me a muffin.
Who,
That's what
okay,
happened.
who left the muffins out? Who left the damn muffins out?
No, it's all right. Don't worry. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I hope you guys been doing well too.
Oh, thank you.
For those who don't know who you are, just in case, I mean,
Yeah,
you don't
Josh.
have to know who you are. So what is it that you do, MasakoX?
Well, I am primarily known for my work on their productions Dragon Ball Z Abridged, in which I play Goku and Gohan, and
That's
then
great.
Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, I play Herr Doctor.
Awesome.
I am also in the latest episode of Hellsing, I was the guy who went, "Oh God, he shot me in the ass." That guy.
I gotta check that out.
Somewhere around like 6 minutes 30 or something. But and also I am the editor of Final Fantasy VII Mission Abridged.
Yes. And
Oh.
you recently edited the newest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge.
Yes, that's it. I am also edited episode 70. So I
Yes.
did that too.
Awesome.
Wow, you've done a lot.
Yes, and he's all Moscow. I believe also you do your own cover versions of popular anime songs. Like recently, you did your own cover version of the Digimon fusions, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and yeah, that's not all I just do at on my channel. I do discussion videos, I do reading bad fan fiction, looking at Dragon Ball merch, as well as some covers, which this isn't a new thing. If you look back at some of my oldest videos on that channel, they are covers of songs. But no, the Digimon Fusions one is actually I'm working with a group called Jamie and Midi D Productions, and they used to make DDR songs.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm doing like a full English medley.
Yeah.
So Digimon all the way up to 1, 2, and 3. Frontier and Data Squad,
Oh, okay.
and
Wow.
something, and potentially something else. So
Awesome.
it'll be a nice little 6-minute medley.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Interesting. All right. So
Pretty much.
I mean, again, it's amazing that you're here with us to
Yes.
share our love for this beautiful franchise that we grew up watching so many years ago, and it's still on till this day.
30 years going. 30 years Dragon
30
Ball has been going, and yeah, it is. It's amazing. And should we introduce ourselves? Because I feel like I feel we skipped that part. It's just like okay.
I know, but I wanted to give the guests some shine. But
Yes.
we could definitely introduce ourselves. For those who don't know who I am Duo Dreamer of Duo Dreamer Videos, and you know what I do. Most of you know what I do, and we also have Richard Korra Kenobi. What's up, Richard?
Hi guys. Good to be here. It's amazing, and I'm ready to talk about Dragon Ball.
Awesome. And also we have Spectralstar.
Hey, everybody. Oh, God. I'm still on a long hiatus. I've been sick with the flu, but I'm here, and I'm glad that we're finally talking about Dragon Ball Z, my favorite anime of all time.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people wondering, wait a minute, there's only 4 of you. That's because your only mate has unfortunately been tied up with personal work affairs. So he'll be joining us a little bit late. So he may just pop up out of nowhere, use instant transmission to just poof into this stream. So that's why he's not here. So it's just going to be the 4 of us for now, but you never know. Your only mate may turn up. But if you guys miss him, then tell us down below if you want your only mate to just pop up out of nowhere right now.
Right.
Yes.
And just to let you know, guys, if you want to subscribe to our respective channels, all the links are in the video description, including MasakoX's YouTube channel and Twitter. So please go follow him on Twitter and also subscribe to him on Facebook. All right, guys. So let's get started to talk about Dragon Ball, the franchise that a lot of people sort of got like the first experience of anime. Some people were first experienced anime through Dragon Ball, some others, but this one is like one of the most popular animes out there. But before we get into this, I'd like to know, like, when was the first time we watched this franchise? You know, this particular franchise. Let's start with MasakoX. Like, when's the first time you've watched the Dragon Ball franchise?
Oh, that was back in the year 2000. And
wow.
Yeah, so I was watching this when probably most of the people watching were before they were born. Yeah, basically, I was just editing. I was watching this. It just came out in the UK. It obviously been out in America since 1996. We got it in 2000, and basically it was just a really interesting time. I'd never seen anything like it before, and this was on Cartoon Network. We had Cartoon Network there.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yeah. And I was about 13. So
oh wow,
I just saw it, and it was a lot of fun. It was just great because it was nothing like I'd ever seen before. So I was just completely mesmerized by it, and we got through it pretty quick. We didn't have to wait for it. We didn't have to wait for the Ginyu Force repeat thing again. Within months, we got to the bit where Goku goes Super Saiyan.
Oh, you guys were lucky.
Yes, I remember that.
So lucky.
I remember.
But then we had the really weird situation where our dub kept changing every 20 episodes. Sometimes we get Funimation, sometimes we get Ocean.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was very odd.
It was.
So with Vegeta, we said, "Ha! I am the mighty Prince Vegeta of the Saiyan race." And then Joe said, "Really? I'm Vegeta too."
Yes.
And then with Goku, it pretty much just go from, well, hey, I'm basically Peter Kalamis Goku. Then it would basically be Sean Shammel's Goku. I'm not going to stand for this.
Oh, God.
It went from comedy hick to Superman all of a sudden.
Yes.
yeah.
I remember that. That was crazy.
I remember watching the Ginyu Force thing like 50 times before they finally put the next like part of it out.
I remember that too.
For like forever. So that's awesome that you guys got it way earlier than that.
Yes. But Star, when was the first time you watched the franchise?
Well, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
Well, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z.
Well, Dragon Ball Z was first, like the first thing to come out in Funimation. I believe it was the early 90s. I was watching it on Toonami. Well, not the early 90s. It was the late 90s or maybe the early 2000s. It's somewhere in there, man. I was little. I was really young.
Yeah.
It was the Saiyan saga. I believe it was Nappa and Vegeta were on the Earth or something, and they had the different voice actors. Then at the time, they had like the guy that Masako was imitating at the end there for Goku.
Ocean Group. Yeah.
Yeah, and that other guy with Vegeta. I love that dude's voice. The dude who did Vegeta before.
Yes, I remember that.
I mean, I love all the voice actors for him, but he had such a Weasley Vegeta. It was so Weasley, and I love that. But yeah, that was my first time like watching that. So
Okay. How about you, Rich?
Oh boy. For me, it had to be because I was born in 1995, so that was about the time that they started releasing the dub. But I didn't start watching it until I want to say 1998, 1999, towards the early 2000s, just like Masako and Star. But the first time I watched Dragon Ball Z, it was the Android Saga. It was the beginning of it, and I remember watching this fight, and my friends told me most about Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen parts of that, but I don't think I'm caught up with it. So I watched the Android Saga, and I was just like blown away. I remember when Dr. Gero and Android 19 first showed up. That's where I was fully a Dragon Ball fan, because just seeing these robotic behemoths go up against the Z fighters, I remember that being so scary as a kid. And of course, what really sealed the deal was the Cell Saga, like the first introduction of Imperfect Cell, seeing this creepy bug monster go up against Piccolo. That is where, oh my God, I just can't believe it. This is amazing. And ever since then, I've been a dedicated fan of Dragon Ball Z. I didn't watch the Dragon Ball, the previous one, till later on, I think, because I was mostly invested in Dragon Ball Z like everybody else. But that was my first time watching it, and I remember it was just amazing to think that this is how good quality anime should be. Just amazing storytelling, amazing action scenes. It's just amazing, and most of that goes to the Android Saga, because that's what sealed the deal for me as a fan.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
I might be I think I am the oldest one here in this podcast, right? Yeah.
May I ask how old you are, sir?
34.
Oh, okay. I'm 30, so.
Okay.
I'm the youngest out of all of us.
Okay. My first experience with the Dragon Ball franchise was with Dragon Ball. And this was back in, I think it was 95 or 96.
Yes.
Wow. This was when it was syndicated on television. I was watching it on TV. It was like early morning, like around 6 or 7 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. And this was before it was on Cartoon Network. This was syndicated, and this was before the network lineups of the cartoon, Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
And it was around the time it was on Fox, and it was on before Fox Kids did their lineup. Yeah. And that's when I got my first taste of Dragon Ball. I was watching the first Dragon Ball series. It was Dragon Ball the first season, when Goku met Bulma and everything.
Yeah.
But here's something that was weird. After watching the first season, where after they dealt with Pilaf and we saw Goku turn into the at the time they called the Mammoth Ape. How do you say it now? The
Ozaru.
Ozaru, yes. They all of a sudden they said, "Oh, there's a new show coming out called Dragon Ball Z." So I said, whoa, so there's a new show, Dragon Ball Z, and we saw Goku as an adult, and we got to meet Gohan, we got to meet all these other characters, even Piccolo. But then they were talking about stuff that happened in Dragon Ball that they never aired on syndication. They just went from season 1 of Dragon Ball all the way to just Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
And I was watching that all through, the Ginyu Saga, where it just stopped, where Vegeta said, like, wait a minute, is Goku a Super Saiyan? And that's when that whole limbo happened. And then thank God, Dragon Ball was picked up by Cartoon Network. It was on Toonami.
Yes.
And that's when we got to see everything. We got to see everything after, I think, probably a year it was on Cartoon Network. We got to finally see what happened after the Ginyu Saga and whatnot. So
yeah,
but yeah, that was my first experience, was with Dragon Ball on syndication TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. They never said anything about that. Like there wasn't internet back then either, like there is today. I mean, there was, but it wasn't as sophisticated. So and most people didn't have a computer.
Well, when you're a kid, and especially on Saturday, you wake up early just to watch cartoons, and sometimes you just stumble across, because that's how it was. I stumbled across this show, and I was already exposed to anime, and that's like, oh, this is an anime show. Let me check this out, and I was hooked, with it. And then Dragon Ball Z really catapulted me into being just a fan of the Dragon Ball franchise to being a huge fan.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just. I know a lot of people would say that their first experience was from Toonami and Cartoon Network, but mine was from syndicated TV. That's why I was wondering, like how old? Am I the oldest out here? So,
did any of you guys have the friend who like imported all the Japanese anime shows that knew the whole series already, and you were just in the Saiyan saga or something? He's like, "Oh, wait till you get into the Boo saga." It's like, "Oh my god, really? What's that?" You just want him to shut up because he's ruining it all for you.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I had that. What about you, Masako? Did you ever have that friend or did you ever get a hold of the Japanese inputs?
Not as such, no. My brother did have a friend who was very good with getting like VHS tapes of anime. We got the because my brother, he got a video of old VHS tape of Urusei Yatsura. So from 1981, the creator of Ranma and Inuyasha, that was one of her like old classics.
Wow.
And that was really cool. And that was like the first time I'd really seen like proper fan subs. But then eventually found all the old movies and all the episodes, like the old episodes bit crushed to hell. And I think the first DBZ movie I watched was Cooler season, the Cooler movie 5.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the first one I saw. And that was when I really got an appreciation for Masako Nozawa. The voice of Goku. Yeah. And it's just like that's how it was really good. And I just fell in love with the voice, and it was just thinking, wow, this is something I've never heard anything like this before. And it just endeared me to the show even more, especially just getting to see the original.
Yes, of course. And going off of what you said, I do remember the VHS because there were VHS tapes of Dragon Ball. I remember the when Future Trunks first came into the show, they actually put those episodes together in VHS form. And I never watched. I do remember having those VHS tapes because I don't think I was fully. I do remember Future Trunks coming in, but at that point, I had missed a couple of episodes. I was just like, oh, well, I just remember him going Super Saiyan. I don't remember everything about him because the Toonami would sometimes be out of order as well. But when I got these VHS tapes, and I still remember them, they had amazing VHS artwork. And I watched them. I was just like, oh, my God, this is so amazing. I never knew that you could have Dragon Ball or anime on VHS. That was amazing. That was the first time I knew about anime being on VHS because I just thought it was aired on TV. I never knew you could put it on VHS and, mix or mash the episodes together to like a little mini movie, if per se.
Yeah,
I collected all of GT in the VHS and a lot of the original Dragon Ball Z ones and Dragon Ball tapes. It was a store that was down the road from me. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was kind of like a EB Games or something. I don't know. It was something like. But I used to collect those box tapes all the time down there at VHSs.
Yeah,
so it was pretty cool.
Okay.
For me, I was more of a bootleg type person because most of the I mostly collected the movies, the Dragon Ball Z movies.
I wouldn't call it bootleg. I would just say you borrowed them.
Yes.
Okay, borrowed.
You borrowed them.
But
I'm gonna say
there was a store that,
legally.
there was a store that actually would sell them, but they were all in Japanese. But I didn't care because I wanted to watch, these movies.
Yes.
The only movies at the time I had that were in English that was actually released by Pioneer was Tree of Might, World's Strongest, and The Dead Zone. And I bought that box set. My mother bought me the box set for my birthday because she found out I love Dragon Ball. But But as for the other movies, I bought it from like, street corner. Like some people were like buying, oh, here's some like Japanese anime tapes, and I just buy them, and that's how I knew more about the movie part, but not much on the show because I kind of wanted to listen to it in English. It's so long, like to watch a whole series and just in Japanese. I mean, and I love Japanese. Don't get me wrong. But I kind of wanted to like just sit and just listen, not have to sit, listen, and read at the same time, But the movies I did,
with being an anime fan, you kind of just get used to it.
Yeah, I agree.
You condition yourself, and then basically you kind of go like, then you hear like people that don't watch necessarily anime or anything that's imported. They go, "Oh my god, I can't watch subtitles. Oh my god, so annoying."
Of course, yeah.
And you just go and you go, really?
yes,
yeah.
You have no idea.
You must not be very interested in the source material then.
Exactly.
Right.
Why do they talk in a different language? Why can't they speak English? Oh my god.
Yeah, well, back in the day as a kid, I was like that, but now I can watch a Japanese anime, or heck, I even watch Japanese wrestling, and they just talk in Japanese, and I don't mind it. I was like, and sometimes I pick up a little Japanese along the way. Sometimes you do,
Yes, of course.
The only thing I'm worried about is like, since I'm watching most of the new episodes in Japanese, that I'm not gonna like have as much drive to go back and watch them in English again. But
yeah, that's actually a good point because I'm with Masako. But I had a different experience with that from Duo Dreamer because I did watch a couple of Japanese episodes, and it was kind of weird to me because it was literally like learning a new language. Like to hear Masako as Goku and just see how different her portrayal was, and MasakoX, you talked about this on your channel, how great she is and how she takes the character. Because for those who don't know, Masako, she is one of the best actresses to play the Son Goku family. She plays Goku, Gohan, and Goten, if I'm correct. And to hear her voice when she does the screams or the Kamehameha or just the speaking dialogue, it's so fascinating to watch. And I just have so much respect for the two incarnations of Goku. But now I actually have grown to a phase where I actually like the Japanese Goku a little bit more, thanks to 2 years of me watching Dragon Ball Super. And I actually watch other animes in Japanese. Like, there's a lot of them I watch, like Pokemon, Digimon, Adventure Try. So many of these great Japanese animes that aren't even dubbed yet, and people refuse to watch. They're like, no, I want to wait till it comes out in English. I don't want to read. Like, people are not interested in hearing their childhood voice actors in Japanese. I think that's the problem with it. But I love watching Japanese shows and just reading the subtitles because it also helps me learn a little Japanese too. And I just love that so much.
I agree. Heck,
also, do you want to know the kicker? Guess how old she is?
Oh man, how old? I forget right now.
She is 81.
Oh my god!
What?
Wow!
And she's still doing the voice of Goku.
Yes.
What a badass!
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, no, she's been doing this. She's been playing Goku for 30 years.
Oh my goodness!
Woo!
That is amazing.
That's dedication right there.
It is, and if you've heard
multiple voices too, right? Like I think I heard a little bit of her voice in Yajirobe on Super once.
No, that's actually Mayumi Tanaka. That's the voice of Krillin.
Oh, they sound kind of alike in my opinion, but maybe I'm just crazy.
I know, I get what you mean, but yeah. So essentially, yeah, Masako Nozawa Mayumi Tanaka, who is also the voice of Luffy.
Oh, okay.
So the voice of Krillin and Luffy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's why in Resurrection F you had We Are or Hikarie, one of the One Piece openings. This is ringtone.
Yeah.
Like One Piece reference.
Oh man, that's awesome though to know that Masako Nozawa is still voicing the character, and she also voices not just Goku. She voices Gohan and Goten. She's really very talented.
Yeah, and also she did Goku Black.
Yes, I was gonna.
Oh,
She was basically like Mr. Black. So yeah, she did that too, and that's why Goten wasn't in the Goku Black arc that much.
Yes, and
she'd have done 4 characters, all roughly the same. Just give her a break.
Exactly, and Goku Black was her best performance. Like, it was amazing because when I first watched the Goku Black, I don't know if you got this experience, Masako, but I almost forgot. Oh my God, that's Masako Nozawa. She has just completely evolved from playing, the hero to the hero's son to the other hero's son. Now she's a villain. That is just, I never would have thought that would happen.
I've never heard or seen the Japanese version of the Tree of Might, but did she do Turles as well in that?
Yeah, she did. She did.
Oh wow, awesome.
She did Turles.
Yeah.
She was doing Black before Black was cool.
That woman, man.
That's awesome. But you brought up movies. That's actually something I want to talk about because there's been a lot of movies and specials. Some of them that are non-canon, and some of them that are just considered movies, but they're specials at their core. Masako, what was the first? You already talked about your first Dragon Ball movie experience, but what was the first Dragon Ball special you watched?
Dragon Ball special. Well, that's a good question, actually. I would say I think it was the Bardock special.
Yes.
Oh, I love the Bardock special, man.
Absolutely.
I love that one. He's so awesome.
He is. It was amazing. Mine was actually still to this day, and this kind of is, I don't know, I wouldn't consider this biased in any means necessary, but my first special was the Future Trunks special, the History of Trunks, if I'm correct, and I remember
one of the bleakest anime specials I've ever seen.
Whoa! Yeah. Yeah, I know. Looking back on it, I know some people have mentioned that the History of Trunks special, it's good in small doses, but I'm not one of those people who overhype it to say, oh yeah, this is better than all of the specials combined. Like, no, I would never go that far because to me it was a great introduction to Future Trunks' world and how it was also a different pace, like a darker tone where you're in a universe where Goku is dead, the Z Fighters are dead, and there's only 2 people who can defend the city, and it's basically robbed of hope. It reminded me a lot of Blade Runner in that sense, like how, just the size of the city was when it was destroyed. It's just like, my goodness, I mean, is there any hope in this future? And there was hope, of course, but I loved it because it just really dove into the character of Trunks, because I think the special came out after Future Trunks made his debut, if I'm correct, Masako. I can't remember if it was before or after.
Probably was around the same time. Not
quite
sure. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think it came out around about 1993.
Oh, okay, yes, of course. And but I just loved it. Still to this day, I love it. Like, if people say that Dragon Ball doesn't know how to get dark or explore dark themes of people being dead, pretty much not I would want to say gruesome, but just overall, if people say that Dragon Ball has never explored a darker tone, to where you take all hope away from humanity in the Dragon Ball universe, then I would suggest watching The History of Trunks, because it dives deeply into the characters, and mostly it made me appreciate Gohan a lot more. And I really, to this day, wish that we would have gotten to see more future Gohan, because he was one of the best parts of the special for me.
Oh yeah.
You have to give it up to Gohan for fighting with one arm, though.
Yeah, you have to give it up to Mr. Gohan.
Of course. Of course, it goes without saying that MasakoX, I loved yours and Team 4 Star's take on the History of Trunks special, and I just thought, oh my God, it made me love the History of Trunks special even more, knowing that you guys put so much love and dedication into it. And still to this day, if people ask me, why do you love the History of Trunks special so much? Go watch Team 4 Star's version. They completely represent and draw their own lines of what makes that special great in their own way and why it's important to the character.
I have to say, Bulma kind of creeped me out in that special. She did. Like, she's like hitting on Gohan and all that. I'm like,
well, you didn't see in the breakdown. Eventually, there was Masako.
Yes. Kaiser Neko was originally supposed to add a scene where Bulma and Gohan would have sex, and
they would be sharing the bed, if you know what
yes, I mean. But for some reason he decided to cut it out. I can't remember the reason why, but I just remember thinking, well, I mean, Bulma's lonely now. I mean, come on, how many men on Earth are still left? I mean, because the androids are killing off most of them, so she's got to repopulate somehow. Although it is kind of weird it would be kind of weird to see her have sex with Gohan, because it's just
it would.
And I'm kind of curious as to why they didn't try and gather the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I think part of it is, well, Piccolo was dead. Are you talking about the Namekian balls?
Probably not the Namekian Dragon Balls. I don't know, actually, because King Kai would have been able to contact Trunks or Bulma through telepathy.
Yeah.
Right.
But then again, we wouldn't have had a bleak story, so we need we need bleakness and hope.
And that still raises my question in the I want to talk about this later with you, Masako, but that raises even more questions in the Goku Black arc. You know, why didn't they get the Dragon Balls? It's still to this day, I think they just love making future Trunks suffer, because it's already been established that he's a character that has to suffer. So if you say, Mom, let's go get the Dragon Balls, King Kai told me where to find them. No, we can't do that, honey. I mean, we can't do that. They just refuse to do that. But I agree with what you're saying, Masako, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Duo Dreamer, you mentioned, so what was the first special you watched?
Are we talking about the special, or we're talking about the OVA movies?
Oh God, another good. I guess both. Because
in terms of the movies, I would say Tree of Might, but I watched it on syndication on television. But they actually broke it up into 3 parts.
I remember. Yeah, they would do that.
That would be the first one that I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the special is concerned, it's Bardock, the father of Goku, which till this day is my top favorite special out there, because I've always been curious about Goku's father. The only thing, I know people probably feel the same way, I was expecting Bardock to be a scientist.
Yeah. You got to do it in the right intonation. He has to be a brilliant scientist.
When I see this,
he was an average fighter, Kakarot, but a brilliant scientist.
Yeah, I would love. Okay, so is that?
I remember the parts where he was just, making beakers and stuff, bubbling and all that in the lab, just sweating up a storm.
That would be an interesting thing to explore, and Team 4-Star Masako. Like, are we gonna see Goku inherit Bardock's craft?
No. You did actually see it in the Broly movie, because it's when we were talking about the son of Bardock. What do you mean, the scientist? The very same.
I would just love to see Gohan get a chemistry set, and Goku asks, "Why are you playing with science?"
It skips a few generations.
Yeah, it's just like, Dad, wasn't your dad? What? Dad, wasn't your dad a scientist?
Oh yes.
Go ahead.
It didn't involve. Nah, he wasn't a scientist of the kitchen, unlike me. I will experiment with any food you give me.
Yeah. Well, Goku.
I tried eating one of his foods once. Didn't work out so well for me.
Yeah.
Good thing we had those pods. Otherwise, I'd have had a hole in my stomach. There's a hole in my stomach. Dear Gohan, there's a hole in my stomach. Dear Gohan, a hole.
Well, Goku did come up with the double bacon sandwich, so does that count as science?
Oh, the double bacon witch.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, no, that's not science. That's art.
Oh.
That is art.
Then Goku is an
It belongs
artist.
in the museum.
Oh man. My favorite movie, in my opinion, was Super Android 13. I love that one.
Look at my trucker hat.
Huh?
I said, look at my trucker hat.
Yeah, the trucker hat. So that was actually one of my favorites to watch because I did love seeing Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks turn to Super Saiyan.
That was the highlight of it for me. Seeing
Oh
all
my
three of
god!
them turn Super Saiyan.
And I still can't. And I still can't believe I saw that scene where Super Android 13. And I know you've done this in the Abridged series, and I thought it was awesome how you guys did it, where he just spread open Goku's legs and just decked him in the kitchen. And I like how with the Abridged version, they showed like a future of what happened to Goten, and pretty much he just ceased to exist. I thought that was awesome.
Oh man, that was amazing. I just love how you guys did that, Masako. That was just amazing. But I never noticed that as a kid. But when I watched Team 4 Star's version, I was like, oh my god, he punched him in the nuts. Is that how it was in the actual one? I went back.
Oh yeah, it was.
I guess Goku must have just shrugged it off in the dub version.
Well, it pretty much reverted him back into base form. He was in Super Saiyan form when it happened, and then he just went back out of him base form.
Yes, exactly.
So it did hurt.
Yes. But also, too, what I liked about Android 13 is that it was kind of nice to see 3 more androids, but also, too, just seeing Android 13 become this big blue Android Broly. It was just like, wow, I mean, that's very interesting, but I just loved that fight and just seeing how the Z Fighters one by one, they're really trying to take down this menace, and really just seeing all of them try and fail while Goku is charging up the Spirit Bomb. It was just amazing to see, and of course, it had one of the greatest Vegeta entrances of all time.
Yes.
For thousands of years I lay dormant. Who has disturbed?
Hey, that's Buddy.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, I always wondered why.
When I was doing my Goku's Gonna Show You videos for the Team PMS Gaming, I would sometimes do a Vegeta impression as Goku.
Yeah.
And that got into episode 55, so it's like,
oh, Vegeta would just be all like,
oh no, my pride! Oh, I wish I were a carrot.
Yes, and recently I know this is kind of off topic, but recently you did the Fight Counseling, a parody of
that was fun. That was fun.
Yes, I was wondering if you guys were going to do that, because would Vegeta be mad now that that Goku and Hit are now becoming new rivals? Because Vegeta would be cheated on right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. I mean, Goku really has a bad way of treating his rivals.
Like I'm not good enough.
He has trouble dealing with anybody.
Exactly. It's just like, come on, don't do this to Vegeta. You being his rival is what keeps him going, and for you to just pay Hit to kill you, it's just like, okay, well, why don't you just break up with him then? Why even bother at this point?
But hey, Star, what was your favorite Dragon Ball Z movie?
Oh wow. I have to say, I can't remember which number it was, but it had a Yojimba in it. I think it was Yojimba.
Janemba.
Janemba, that's it.
That's my favorite movie too.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's my favorite movie too.
it's just so epic, man. I mean,
It looks beautiful. It's so pretty. It's so cool.
Yes, the highlight of it for me was seeing Goku transform into Super Saiyan 3 and shake Hell and the other universes. That was just amazing.
If you're a fan of Sean Schemmel's screams, that was epic.
Yes, it was. I actually met Sean Schemmel, and I just loved hearing. I love hearing him scream. But the Super Saiyan 3 scream in the Janemba movie, it was probably his best. And I just also too, I loved how Janemba alterated hell into his own twisted version of his paradise. Like, you see all these gems everywhere, and it's different colors.
Come on, they're jelly beans.
Yes.
Yeah, the jelly beans.
Jelly bean hell.
Exactly.
I think
It's got everything.
Yes.
And then of course you got the legendary chorus. I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I am the one who will destroy you.
Yep.
Yes, the birth of Gogeta.
Goosebumps throughout the whole movie, like all the time.
Exactly. Janemba also was one of he was a great villain for the movie, and I really.
If you want to get people into Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball or anything into that series, show them that movie, and they will be fans.
Yes,
if they're not, then there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, and also too, people also complain about Janemba because he's basically like Majin Buu, and I don't see that as a bad thing because it's just like, okay, this fat baby like
I love the nipple cannons.
Yes,
I love them.
Yeah,
I forgot about
some.
Or when he copies Goku's Kamehameha by having a different Goku, and Goku's like, was that me doing that to me? I thought, oh my god, that's genius.
Yeah, and the transformation was really cool too.
Yes. And the teleportation from Janemba, the fact that when he teleports, it looks like Legos, but then when he reappears, just like
oh, such a cool effect.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I did like the villains coming back to Earth, which was fun.
Yeah, Gohan.
Crazy.
One-shotting Frieza.
Yes.
Wasn't Nappa in that one too?
No,
Nappa was there, wasn't he?
that was GT.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I get those mixed up all the time.
The Super 17 saga.
Yeah, and also too, to see.
Yes, Hitler was on it too, Johnny. Yep.
I was gonna say, Hitler came back in Dragon Balls and in that movie, and I was just like, wow. But yeah, seeing Frieza come back, and Gohan fans will love. I think they love that moment more than ever. To see Gohan, how he is now, defeat Frieza. I was just like, yeah, that's accurate right there. That's very accurate because
he didn't even need to go Super Saiyan for it.
Exactly. That was just, and also too to see the Ginyu Force, to see Bojack, and all of them just charge at Gohan, and then Gohan doesn't even waste his time defeating him. He just goes right after Frieza.
The best bit I loved about that scene was just like Gohan's just basically, I am the ultimate power Saiyan, Son Gohan. And then Vidal's going, wow, Gohan, you're so cool.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, that's so adorable. I had the biggest crush on Videl as a kid. And
yes,
Videl
thank you. So did I. I loved her.
And it was just like, she was just like clapping and saying, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, or she's like, remember that line, Gohan.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, she's so into it.
And the fact of what happened after the movie, because they hinted towards this, but I wish they would have showed this. They hinted that Gohan and Videl made out in that movie, and that Goten and Trunks found out. And
what? When was this?
It was at the end of the movie. Again, I could be wrong, but I remember watching this. I've watched it so many times. When you go to the ending of when after everyone goes back to hell, you see Videl, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks talking, and they said that we know your little secret, and Gohan's like, you were spying on us? And then they're chasing after them. They didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
It might not necessarily been that. Maybe it could be that they know that he's the Great Saiyaman.
Maybe, yes, but I like to think that maybe they just made out afterwards. Like, it was an epic make-out session, and, the boys watched, and they, like, we're going to tell, or we know your secret. I mean, that's
yeah, because that was back when they were 8, and they was just like, ew, kissing, gross, cute.
Yes. Yes, but I'm with Masako. I love Videl. She was one of the when you did your recent video with Geekdom 101 about the women in Dragon Ball. As soon as you brought up Videl, it was just like, yes. In my opinion, I like Videl a little bit more than 18, but that's just me.
I've honestly kind of more gravitated with age just to kind of go to 18 because she's just like, yeah, everyone keeps going like, oh my god, they made her domesticated. Oh my god, she's a housewife now.
Yeah.
What? But I was thinking, well, no. The way I see it is that 18 and 17 were a bunch of delinquent teenagers before Dr. Giro basically abducted them. No one was going to miss them. They were causing havoc.
Very true.
And so now, basically, if we get that point, and even then, when 17 is just going, oh, this is great, I'm totally screwing around, and she's going, oh, this is so boring.
Yeah.
Like, she's getting weary of just destroying stuff. And then just seeing Krillin, who is like, I'm really weak, but you should really stop, because I'm Krillin.
Yes.
You don't want to get on my bad side when it's Kriller time.
Yes.
So, no, basically... the way it's just she just saw that and found it refreshing.
Yeah,
and she just found it charming, and the fact that he actually spent one of their wishes to remove the bomb, so that means she could live a normal life. Yeah, that meant something to her. Probably nobody really cared about her, not even her brother did.
Exactly.
So, the fact that she did that for he did that for her and her brother.
Yes,
that meant a lot. And I think that's just what happened, really.
Yes, and 18 and Krillin are one of my favorite couples, and everything you said in your video and you just said now, that's what I believe, and they really are a great couple.
After episodes 75 and 76, it just made me think, oh my god, their family's the best.
Yeah.
Because Maron is just adorable, and that scene in episode 75 is super, where she's just basically saying, I didn't marry a weakling, did I?
Yes.
The cappuccino.
Oh, yeah.
The cappuccino.
I'm so glad she put a boot in that.
Symbolism.
Yes, and I'm also glad that Marin and 18 were the ones to get Krillin to get back into fighting. I really do like that.
That's basically it, really. And the
yes.
same thing with Gohan. They know who they're fighting for.
Exactly. I would love a spin-off show with 2 spin-off shows with Videl and Gohan and 18 and Krillin, just to see how their family, what their family life is like every day from day to day.
Krillin Ball Z, the Cleveland show version or something. The Krillin family.
But
I mean, I feel like the episode 68 to 76 were actually those 8 episodes where they were 2-parters.
Yes.
Those were great.
Yes.
Those were great because they were just they had these little stories focusing mostly on side characters, and it was great.
Yes, of course. I'm definitely glad Dragon Ball Super is doing that, but I would just love to see more of that if the show happens to continue or whatever plans they have after. I just love seeing those filler episodes, as people call them. I love seeing those slice of life episodes, and they really do add more to the characters, and it was kind of important this time around.
Right.
Yeah. But shall we move on to the next topic, Duo Dreamer?
Well, I was thinking we'd do a little bit of let's talk about our favorite stuff on the Dragon Ball franchise, like a little quick, like say who's our favorite characters, what's our favorite fight, what's our favorite transformations and whatnot. So I was thinking we can do like a little lightning round if we, what do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So how about this? Let's start off with favorite characters. What was your favorite character, Masako? Who's your favorite character, Masako?
I wonder who it could be.
Yeah, who it could be. Who could possibly be?
Although, honestly, I do like Goku, but lately I have just fallen in love with Whis.
Yes.
Whis. I like Whis too.
Whis is so good, and Whis is so much fun, and Ian Sinclair's voice of Whis is perfect.
Yes.
He's super original character. He's like a breath of fresh air for like the show.
He is. I love seeing his reaction to when he taste new food, or the advice he gives to his pupils, like Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta, like just giving them this advice and trying to shape them into better warriors. I think that's the best thing a teacher could do for his students. And I really
need to see him in a knockdown drag out fight too. We
Yes.
need to see him struggle against somebody or fight somebody equally, because that would really seal the deal for me, unlike his whole character arc.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Although Whis doesn't really have much to do. I mean, he's just basically just wearing a. He's just there. He's just there. Well, I'm just basically here to have some food with my pal Lord Beerus.
Yes.
I bet when he gets serious, though, he can be terrifying. That's what I'm thinking.
I loved that scene in Resurrection F. Even I don't know about you, Masako, but I loved his scenes in Resurrection F, and especially finding out that, oh yeah, he can turn back time to 3 minutes ago. It's just like, there's so much more we could learn about him. I really do like that.
Well, yeah, and also I definitely know now that Vegeta has a very good fascination for cheese.
It's cheese.
Cheese. I love a lot of cheese pizza. Bulma, order me more cheese pizza.
What is this sticky substance on my pizza? It's cheese.
Cheese.
Love that shit.
All right.
You could easily make that dirty. So, oh, what is this white gooey stuff on my
God,
pizza?
no.
Cut to Whis looking blushing.
I think he did. Didn't he? You realize that he did that whenever he had sex with Bulma. So it's like, what is this goo coming out?
Oh, come on. Come on.
That was the Gallic gun beat.
Oh, God. Yes.
You know, that
I'm not doing. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Moving swiftly on.
Yes. Okay, well, I guess I'll go next. My favorite character, I want to say Goku, despite the fact that I have this Goku shirt on, but I really got to say Vegeta.
Vegeta.
I get that. I get that.
Mainly because of how Super has been progressing. You might as well just change the title and just call it Dragon Ball Super, the Vegeta show, because he has had the greatest character development of all of the characters, and I just love going back and seeing how he used to be in the Saiyan saga to where he is now. Like, the fact that he loves his family, he spends time with them, and he's staying by Bulma's side when she's pregnant. When Goku even said that, why don't you just come with me to train? Like, he's like, I have to stay with her. I need to be here. It's just like, oh, just give Vegeta a round of applause. He is just an amazing character. I love how he's progressed. And
I mean, I kind of talked about this in a video that I feel like all the changes in his personalities of the two Saiyans is that Goku. The only reason that Goku isn't around, didn't destroy the planet, is because of a head injury.
Yes.
The only reason. Whereas all that change has been, or that Vegeta's gone through, that was all of his own accord.
Yes.
He did all that. He did all that.
It's respectable.
He is the better man.
Yes, he is, and I definitely love seeing Vegeta. Really does shine whenever I see him. Just like whether he's fighting for his family or spending time with them, I just really fall in love with his new characterization, and I really and going back to see that in the English dub of Dragon Ball Super, hearing Christopher Sabat do those parts, it makes me love him even more, and I really can't wait to see how Christopher Sabat handles this whenever we get to the Goku Black arc or the Universe Survival arc, because just seeing how Vegeta cares for his family now more than Goku, there's nothing I can't say. He's an amazing character, and he has had the best progression over these past 20 years he's been on the show now.
There's no doubt that Goku is the worst family man in the history of any animated show ever.
Although honestly though, I can't blame him, because nothing to do with Chi-Chi or anything like that. It's just Saiyans inherently don't marry.
Exactly.
They don't. They don't. And but with Vegeta it's different because he's royalty and royalty.
Yes.
Royal Saiyans I would imagine would know the concept of marrying for the sake of the Saiyan race.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Whereas,
you would want to preserve.
Yeah,
You would want to.
common Saiyans wouldn't necessarily do that. It would
No,
be a
they
waste of
just
time. They'd be going to go back onto the battlefield. So basically,
Yes,
that's all they do. So they
just love fighting and eating, like common sense.
Yeah, they believe in companionship, or he's
Yes.
basically Goku sees Gohan, Goten, and Chi-Chi as really, really close friends.
Yeah, that live in his house.
Yeah,
So
that he occasionally wrestles butt naked with.
I just say like, oh hey, Chi-Chi likes sleeping in the nude too. Huh.
Oh God!
I still to this day can't even imagine that. Like, I just can't see
Go for
their
10,
kids.
she says. Go for 10.
I agree with. I know what Jared's gonna say. I can't imagine
He's so,
Goku.
Virtuous. Well, I don't know about virtuous, but
Yeah, I can't imagine Goku having sex, and the fact now knowing, thanks to the Goku Blackheart, that Goku has never even kissed Chi-Chi. I just like, okay, that I agree with Masako, and I was just like, I really don't blame the character for this. I mean, because Goku is a decent guy. It's just based on his heritage. All Saiyans aren't like that. It's only royal bloodline Saiyans like Vegeta, like Masako said. They believe in marriage and preserving the next generation of Saiyans, but common Saiyans do not. So I find it understandable. I'm okay with Goku not being a perfect family man or a perfect husband for that matter, but he has shown to care about them, and he will get pissed off if you kill them, because in the Goku Black arc, when he found out that, Zamasu and Black, you killed my family, or you killed my friends, basically, I'm going to kick your ass. So he does care, but it's not to the same level as Vegeta, so I don't mind.
Of course he cares. He cares about them. He knows about friendship and all that.
Yeah, he's not a heartless person or anything.
No. It's just he doesn't know the difference between he doesn't know the concept of marriage. He thought marriage was something you ate.
Yes, exactly. Or he didn't even know what a date was in the original Dragon Ball.
He didn't know why Chi-Chi was clinging on to him after the martial arts tournament.
That has to be
like, get off me. He was like, oh God, get off me. Like that. She's just bugging him.
I loved when they fought. That was the awesomest.
He did not find her sexually attractive at all.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Yeah.
He didn't even know what sex was, sexualness, or anything like that. Romance.
Well,
what a surprise on the wedding night.
He was raised in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the first woman he ever encountered was Bulma. So,
yes.
Yep.
But Chris, I'm sorry, Duo Dreamer, what's your favorite character?
My favorite character is Piccolo.
Oh.
And one of the reasons why I love the character, I like the characters that is like on the spectrum of like good and evil in a way. But yes, he's fully good now, but you can tell that he still has that little bits of that evil side of him, even though he's fused with Kami and Nail, that he still has that edge. He still has that edge about him. He cares. He cares about, especially he cares about Gohan, because
absolutely he does.
He technically almost raised Gohan.
He raised him better than Goku.
Practically, yeah. But I just like his demeanor. I like how he's just always on the edge. He's always ready for a fight. He's always training. He's always ready. Even though sometimes when big baddies come in, he's not powerful enough, but at least he's always ready in case someone comes in.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that it's like, I don't think I can win this, but I'm going to try.
Yes, of course.
And he's never ran away from a fight.
No.
He never, but he'll admit that, okay, this person's too powerful, but I'm gonna try. And someone just teleported in here.
Oh my God!
I'm back, bitches! Here.
Welcome back, man. Long time.
Thanks.
You're only mate. We missed you.
He ran all the way here.
Cheers.
So we were afraid. But anyway, continue.
Did I miss much?
You missed about, I think, an hour and a half, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look in the comments, or look at the past couple of minutes to catch up if you want. But right now we're going through lightning rounds of favorite characters, favorite moments, favorite transformations. But also to bring up what you just said about Piccolo, Duo Dreamer, mainly in the Android Saga, you kind of saw the progression of how his choice to fuse with Kami, even though he only wanted to do it because he knew that if he did it, it would have helped him destroy the androids. But you can also see that before then, you really see that he's on the edge of evil. And, when he and Kami are talking about it, you can clearly see the yin and yang part of them. Like, Kami doesn't want to do it at first because he doesn't believe that, okay, if I give myself to you to help you fight these androids, you do understand that I'm giving up the position as guardian, and I'm just giving you this because you want this, not because it's natural. So I really liked, I still love Piccolo's depiction and how he's portrayed, how he's sitting in the back, he's meditating, he's just quiet. He's not the kind of person that'll be in front and center, but when he is front and center, it's a special treat to see.
It is. And and the fact that he has really good character development, and it's all, and that turning point for him was with Gohan, where things turned almost to a 180 for him. Yes. When he started training Gohan, he started to develop feelings for him, and even sacrificed himself for Gohan. That was very noble, but he's still that badass character that likes to be left alone, but he'll jump into a fight when he needs to.
Of course.
Star, who's your favorite character?
Well, I have to side with you on that. Piccolo and Goku too, but for obvious reasons. But Piccolo has always been one of my favorite characters, and they just don't give him enough love these days. And I know it's kind of hard with all these new characters popping up and all the new power levels they have to attain, and it's hard to keep tacking on instant power-ups to characters that have been in the series for a long time, like with the fusion with Nail and Kami and stuff, which were the coolest friggin' things ever.
Mainly
when you're a kid,
the fusion with Kami was my personal favorite.
I mean, I love them both. When he gets to Namek and Gohan, summons him there to fight Frieza and all that, he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's like, I'm so screwed. I can feel that power. There's no way I can fight it. And then he senses Nail dying, and he goes and he has to pull his arm to get him to fuse with him. And when he does, and his eyes just light up, and he looks up at the sky, and he's like, I'm just a new man. I'm so
yes,
yeah, exactly. I'm going to beat this bitch black and blue. And then with Kami, man, he takes it to Batman levels of awesomeness.
Oh my god, I know.
And I'm the Namekian with no name and all that shit, and it's so awesome.
That was awesome.
And the same thing with Goku, man. Goku, when he's talking to Frieza and he's doing that cheesy line, he's like, I'm the voice in the darkness or something like that. And the mountain erupts behind him. I know that wasn't part of the original shit, but fuck you. I love it anyway.
I love Masako's version of it. I am the patron of
Oh, the Omniverse speech.
Yes, the Omniverse speech.
I just love cheesy stuff like that.
Yeah,
cheese stuff is my favorite. It gets my goosebumps going.
Yeah.
Just love it.
Yes, of course.
I am the terror who flaps in the night.
Darkwing
Duck, yeah.
I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Really? You only mate. Who's your favorite character in the Dragon Ball series?
I've had a few different characters for various reasons. For a while, it was Gohan because of that fight with Cell and the lead up to it. I just thought it was amazing as a kid. But then Great Saiyaman happened, and it was like, oh, Gohan used to be cool. And I'm sorry, I just didn't like Great Saiyaman that much. It was like Gohan was trying to form a new Ginyu Force or something.
Well, basically, the thing is that at that time, that was around the time when Toriyama basically said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do whatever I want."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because no one's going to stop him because he didn't want to continue it. He didn't want to continue with the show and the manga.
Yes.
He was tired of it.
Yes.
And he wanted to stop after Frieza. And then after he said no, continue. After Cell. But then the editors were like, he was just going, I don't think this could end. And then basically said, well, okay, if I am going to do it, he doesn't want to be pestered by his editors. So he said, screw it, I'm going to do what I want. They basically said, oh, yeah, okay. So if anyone thinks that the Buu saga got weird, Toriyama didn't have anyone controlling him.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I saw your video about that.
Yeah, no, it's just like, no, but I reiterate what I said on the video. Basically, it's just like, he basically had no restraints. So he could do what he wants. So he did the Great Saiyaman, he did Go Tanks, and
yeah, which I liked personally. I like the Great Saiyaman stuff. I like seeing Gohan go to high school. I like seeing Goten. I loved even though the Buu saga was long in the manga and the anime, I personally loved it, and I thought back then it was a great way to end the show appropriately. But I do realize it is extremely made fun of for being long, and some things are wasted. Some things, the way things were going, it was going to be different, but then it reverts back to how it used to be. I do realize that's really confusing, and I personally still to this, I don't mind it. I love the Great Saiyaman. In Dragon Ball Super, I know Masako, you'll agree. I loved the Great Saiyaman movie. I loved seeing Gohan don the Great Saiyaman outfit. It just gets a kick out of me. It makes me feel like a kid again, seeing him don this costume and become this hero not vigilante, but just this hero of the people. Even though
champion of justice.
Yes.
It just makes you just think, oh, Kyle, you're gonna have so much fun voicing that.
Yeah, Oh man.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes.
But in the Xenoverse games, he just keeps keep going, random citizen. Huzzah!
Yes.
Huzzah!
I love it. But so who is your favorite character, your only mate?
He just said it.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Well, I was also going to say Future Trunks just because of that fight with Frieza.
Good choice.
Thank you.
All right. We're gonna do one more favorites. I know I said this, but I just want to get the ball rolling with this whole podcast. One more favorites. Favorite battles. I know a lot of people like to talk about the Dragon Ball battles, whether it's in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, or even Dragon Ball Super. What's your favorite battle? Let's start with Richard. What was your favorite battle in the Dragon Ball franchise?
Oh my God! Oh man, there's so much to choose from.
I know.
Oh man, I would have to say the Vegeta versus Android 19.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Seeing that fight, and at this point, seeing Goku be the first to achieve Super Saiyan, and Vegeta not being able to do that. But then him leaving off planet to find himself, to basically
and go, I want to be a Super Saiyan. I wanna.
Yes.
Don't resist.
Yes. But to just find himself and come to near death, and at that point admit it. You know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care about being better than Kakarot. I don't care about becoming a Super Saiyan. I don't care if I live or die. And that spark lights back up in him. To just seeing him now become a Super Saiyan, it's bone chilling, and it just makes me love him. It really did make me appreciate him more. And that fight between him and Android 19, him throwing out those quit whips, mocking him while he's beating him down. and basically saying, "Do you feel fear, android?" I just like, oh my god, Vegeta
that was
is
so awesome.
a badass, and also, yeah, that fight alone is just amazing to see how far he's grown as a character. To now see he has this power. He has.
My phone
I was just thinking, like, when he was like giving up on ever doing that and becoming humble and humility and all that set in, then all of a sudden his Super Saiyan lights up and he doesn't learn a damn thing and he goes back to the planet and kills some androids.
I agree. Yes, I mean that's
gets his arms broken.
That's true. That's very.
No, it's just basically, ha! I got it now. No take backs.
You fell for it, world.
I was so, and just to see him say, "I don't care about."
That's a dumbass.
Exactly. To see him say, "I don't care about being better than Kakarot. I don't care if I'm not a Super Saiyan like Trunks or Goku. I just don't care." And I personally believe that. Okay, well, I liked on how it tricked us, saying, "Okay, well, this kind of gives his character a new depth." And then after he gets Super Saiyan, it's just like, oh, nope, he's back to being regular Vegeta. It's just like...
more of a douche.
Yes, exactly.
What was cool, though, in that fight was he was bluffing the whole time where 19 was holding him, and he said, it's not bothering me, and he just ripped his arms out, but he was really draining his power. And I like how he just bluffed him. You know, he was bluffing that, nothing was wrong with him. That's I thought how badass Vegeta was,
Well, yes, and when he scared Dr. Gero, saying that my energy hasn't even been taken yet. I haven't even broken a sweat, and now I'm going to come after you. But I like that too, like how he bluffed his way of not saying that my energy's been drained, because Vegeta now would do that, where, well, he wouldn't say my energy's been drained, but he would monologue to himself saying, I could feel my energy draining. But of course, he wants to keep up the illusion that he's a badass. But I just love that fight. And still to this day, it's one of my favorite transformation scenes also, seeing Vegeta just transform and everyone's saying, what? I thought you had to have a noble heart to become a Super Saiyan. Nope, you just got to be really determined.
Yep.
What Masako? What's your favorite battle in Dragon Ball history?
That's a good question, actually.
I know.
I guess probably just going back to Android 18 again. Is that her fight with Vegeta?
Yes.
The fact was, though, for the longest time, and even going into the Vegeta fight, you kind of just thought, oh well, if they're Super Saiyans, they can beat anybody.
Yes.
And it just go like, nope.
Exactly.
Nope. And yeah, Vegeta basically just got smacked down by 18, and all that pride,
his pride too.
And his arm just got smashed.
Smacked in half just by that kick, man.
I know. It was just, and the crackle it made, and when it's hanging down like this, like,
and it's going, sad for you.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. And just also too, well, he got both of his arms broken after that. But oh my god, I agree with Masako. That was one of the hardest things to watch. Seeing Vegeta's pride get broken, both literally and emotionally. And I like on how when he's given a senzu bean, he's immediately standing over on the other side like this, not saying a word, and then he flies off because he's undoubtedly pissed that happened to him. I would love to see him and Android 18 have a rematch. It's a shame we never saw that.
Yeah.
Be pretty one-sided
now,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, he'd destroy it by this point.
Yes. Your only mate, what was your favorite battle?
It has to be Gohan versus Cell.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Down. Just because, okay, I first watched DBZ as like a young kid. I was watching it with my brother on Cartoon Network way back in the day, and I just thought Gohan was really cool, like the whole time, and it was awesome watching him grow, actually becoming a Super Saiyan himself, just like his dad. And just seeing him kick Cell's ass like that was just amazing.
Oh, his arrogance.
I'm not great at
in the fight
explaining
really
things.
bothered me.
Yeah, me too.
Same here. It's just like, finish him, Gohan. What are you doing?
Is it?
He even goes back into his second form. Like, just kill him already!
I know, man.
No, it
was
does
playing
lend itself to a really good, really good moment, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
You're
can't
the
wait
reason Bojack is free.
I can't wait to hear your performance when they get to that moment. Moscow.
yeah.
Like, why doesn't Gohan kill him? Like, I kind of wonder, is Gohan just gonna be like Vegeta, where, you know what? No, I want to fight him. I want to keep playing with him and show him that I'm a badass. Like, he's trying to prove himself, basically. Like, there's so many different ways I can imagine you performing that.
Yep.
No, I think the vibe that we're gonna get is basically, I would say that Gohan kind of just goes through the breaking point of him having daddy issues.
Yes.
So he kind of breaks through and eventually just becomes completely zen. And he
Yes.
just basically becomes like a little psychopath.
I like that.
You ready, Phil?
Yeah.
You ready, Phil? Huh? Yeah.
Is it weird that I'm liking the sound of this?
Yeah, no,
No, not at all.
basically Gohan is just gonna be completely psychopathic.
That's kind of how he was in the original. It's just like he's ignoring his father's advice when this is his father telling him, you need to finish him now. It's just like, you're one to talk, Goku. You should have finished Frieza, but you wanted to fight him at his strongest. It's just like...
And I just thought that bit where, where Piccolo just goes, do you want to know what he's thinking right now? And then basically Goku just goes like, oh no. Oh no.
Yes, exactly.
What's wrong with me?
I know.
Oh no. I didn't think to ask him whether he wanted to do this.
Exactly.
I knew I forgot something.
Yeah. It would have been scary to see Gohan do that against Broly if they would have done that. Like, basically, if Gohan would have let go when he fought Broly. Yeah. Oh, man. That's good, though, your only mate. That's a good pick.
Spectralstar, what was your favorite battle?
Oh my god. There's like a million of them.
From the show to the movies, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, my first pick, I kind of got 2 or 3 here, but I'll be quick about it. My first pick has got to be Goku versus Tien at the last World Tournament with Piccolo Jr. showing up, causing havoc. Because, I mean, the first part of the fight is just Goku showing off the training clothes come off. What happens when those come off, and he's a tornado of lightning fast attacks, and it's just so cool. And the little xylophone music going in the background just makes it even more epic, gives you more goosebumps and all that.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
Yeah, and then after that, it would probably have to be him versus Piccolo. That was such an epic fight because they're always confined to the ring, and then they start flying afterwards. But it's still epic because practically
Piccolo becomes gigantic.
Yeah, and it's
I've always found it weird.
level, third world, or freaking Covenant came by and glassed the planet. It looks like there's just nothing but dust everywhere.
I've always found it weird where Piccolo turned to a giant. And they were still fighting, and somehow they were still able to stay on the ring.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Which is weird.
Yes, of course. What's your number 3?
Yeah, my number 3. It's not really a fight. It's kind of just a display of a test of might between Trunks and Goku when Goku finally got back to Earth after the Frieza fight.
God, yeah.
Where he's fighting him with his fingers deflecting
with the sword. Like, he's swinging this sword back and forth, and
this segues into Korra's or Richard's sword, which looks awesome.
Yes, like this, like when he catches the blade with his sword, like ha 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 ha.
Yeah, with his fingertips. Yeah, and Krillin's over in the corner. He's like, "At least your dad put away the fingers."
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Sadly, this sword cannot cut anything, so unless I sharpen it, so don't worry, it won't actually hurt me.
You'd be dead by now. No fingers, at least.
Oh, get the Dragon Balls. Wish me back to
All right.
life.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, there they are.
There they are. They're the Dragon Balls.
Oh yes, I've got so many balls.
Really, dude?
I had to do it.
If he didn't, I would.
What's your favorite fight, Duo Dreamer?
All right. I have three, but I have number one, like a top one that I always love. One of them is Piccolo versus Goku in Dragon Ball. The first season, Ma Jr. Always liked that. Pretty much the same reason why Spectralstar loved it. I also love Vegeta versus Goku 2.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was like one of the most emotional battles I've ever seen between Goku and Vegeta. And it's mainly because Vegeta, like he said, he allowed the Majin to take over him because he was sick and tired of being second to a low-class Saiyan.
Yeah.
And he just said, like, I'm done being second rate to you. I want to be the number one, and I'm going to kill you. And it was just so much emotion between those two fights. Yes,
and it's just that scene where he says, "Are you feeling angry, humiliated, Kakarot? Fool! You don't know what humiliation is." I just love how the dialogue like that just really pours so much emotion, and I love seeing how they're both smiling, even though they're trying to kill each other. Like at this
point.
The smile that Vegeta gave Goku at the World Martial Arts Tournament after he killed all those people at the end of the episode.
Yes.
That freaking grin, man. It was so evil and epic.
I love seeing evil Vegeta come back in Majin form. And I also loved I agree, that second bout between Goku and Vegeta, it's one of my personal favorites as well. And there's so much emotion behind it. And I just love seeing how Goku is trying to snap him out of it, but he doesn't realize that this has been a long time coming. He was going to be number one. He's determined to be number one, and he'll go through any lengths to do it. I just love seeing the raw emotion between these two. It's like they just now had respected each other, and now they're going back to how they used to be.
Kicking ass.
Exactly.
But my number one fight that I love so much is Piccolo versus Android 17.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was good.
The Hell Zone grenade scene.
I was about to say.
Awesome. And here's the thing. Piccolo knew that I'm not going to win this fight, but I'm still going to fight 17. And it's kind of hard to fight something like 17 because he doesn't get his power exhausted, whereas Piccolo does. But yet Piccolo still go in there and fight him as best he could. And they pretty much brought the best out of each other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hell Zone grenades. And I like the part where they just like threw each other to the ground and stuff. It was just like a knockdown, drag out street fight brawl in a way.
I loved how they were evenly matched, but by the end, you could tell that the interactions they were having, they were starting to respect one another. I mean, because you could definitely see that Android 17 respected Piccolo, despite the fact that he's fighting a losing battle, but he's putting on this much to determine himself, to hold them. Yeah, I just love seeing that.
And this was after he fused with Kami.
Yeah.
So we had some glimmer of hope that he could actually defeat one of the androids at least. But it was just awesome that he gave it wasn't easy for 17 to keep him down or try to, and he didn't get him down. It was Cell Cell brought him down. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and I would argue that if Cell hadn't intervened, I think 17 might have won that fight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I still like to think Piccolo would have. That's just biasness though.
All right. let's move on to something very interesting, like something that has to do with Dragon Ball Z. Not exactly. Well, it is going to be on the franchise, but let's talk about Goku. One of the things that people seem to always debate about Goku is the fact
here it comes.
Is Goku a superhero? Is he considered a superhero or not?
No, he's not.
Yeah, there you go.
And it depends where you are. It depends where you are.
Okay.
Basically, if you go to the original source, Toriyama never made Goku, never planned for Goku to be a superhero.
Yes.
Goku, as far as he was concerned, Goku was a country bumpkin.
Yes. I can see
That's what he's always been. He's a country bumpkin who likes to fight. He likes getting stronger. And, you know, he's a good kid. Yeah, he's good like that, but he fights because he wants to, you know, he wants to get stronger. And that's how he is in the dub.
Himself.
But because you look to the original Saban Ocean Pioneer dub, they add all the music in it. Sounds like it came straight out of Power Rangers.
Yes.
It is
sounds like it's a vibe. You got a Power Rangers vibe. So he has to be the superhero. And, you know, it's part of that. And it makes it relatable. That's just the long and the short of it, really.
Right, and I agree with that. I don't think of him as a superhero because I always believe that when it comes to Goku, it's eat, sleep, train, fight, repeat, and that's pretty much all he's about.
Is the Brock Lesnar?
Sounds about right.
Yes, but the thing is, also when I think of a superhero, I think of, you know, a person that makes it his job to protect people. You know, like they're vigilantes in a way, but it's their job. You know what I mean? It's their job. Whereas Goku, the only time he starts fighting for the Earth is when his family's threatened, his friends are threatened, and that doesn't scream superhero. It just screams like that's what any person would do. You know what I mean? Does anyone agree with that?
I agree. Yes. I had to go get my charger real quick, but I agree with what Masako and you just said. But see, I think that depends on, because it's like Masako said, it depends, because if you watch the Japanese dub, you know that's not how the character is. But because most people, or I shouldn't say most, because everyone has grown up on the Funimation and other dubs, they portrayed him as a superhero, and to now grow up and see that he's not.
Is it weird that even when watching just the dubs, I never thought that?
Yeah, because I didn't know Goku wasn't this way until after I watched the Japanese version, because it was in the early 2000s that I discovered this is not how the character acts. But then as I watched more into it, I was just like, oh, okay, so this is how he's different from the English dub. So I came to respect that, and I actually prefer the Japanese dub because it's the truest and better one, and it doesn't paint him something he's not meant to be, like in the Funimation dub or the other dubs. But I can respect how people grew up with those dubs and see him like that. But whenever somebody says, oh, who's your favorite superhero? Oh, it's Goku. Goku's not a superhero. Like, he's not Batman, he's not Superman, he's not Spider-Man, he's not any of those characters.
He's just a guy.
Yes, exactly. Because those characters show why they're heroes. Goku's a hero by accident, if that makes any sense. Like, he has saved the world, but it's only because, okay, if you threaten the world, of course, he's going to do what he always does. He's going to save it because his companions and friends are there, so why would he not save it?
Oh, but all my stuff is here.
Exactly. He's not going to say, I will not let you hurt the innocent people of Earth. It's just like, he's
and my lunch.
Well, yeah, he'll mainly... If you threaten his lunch, then he'll save the world just to eat that lunch. But if it's other people, he genuinely won't care. I mean, the only person I can kind of consider a superhero is Gohan, because Gohan literally became a superhero. The Great Saiyan Man.
Job.
Yes, yes, it was a job, but it was because Gohan. If Gohan hadn't been raised right by Chi-Chi, him and Goten would have became like Goku. They wouldn't have. They would have just been country bumpkins like Goku, but they're not. They're completely different. And I don't mind Goku. I'm okay with Goku just being like how Masako recently depicted it, talking about the newest episode, because the way Super is going, we may be seeing sort of an anti-hero role for Goku, but I don't mind that if it's written properly and if they can really capitalize on it. But I do not like the idea of Goku being a superhero because it goes against everything Akira Toriyama wrote, and it also goes against the character himself.
Right. And I know there's some people who think that, well, because he said, I'm the light and the hope of the universe and this. Like,
that was the dub changes. That wasn't in the original Japanese version.
Right.
I love it.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
But the thing
And
is,
Masako
like,
has explained this on his channel, so please go check out his videos. He explains it better than we can.
right. But I think that when, with that dub that he says that I'm the light, and people would confuse that with him saying, oh, that makes he's a superhero. I think Goku was just saying that just to get under Frieza's skin.
Exactly.
I can see that happening, yes. And people actually brought up in the comments that Trunks is kind of a hero, if you really think about it.
Right.
Yeah, so there are characters in the Dragon Ball universe that can be held to the standards of superheroes, but Goku is not one of them. He will never fit in that class, not because he can't be one, it's just because that's not how he is. That's not how he was. It's his heritage that prevents him from doing that, because he's a Saiyan, and he's a country bumpkin who loves Earth. But he's not going to defend the people constantly every day, because plus I think Goku would kind of get tired of defending people, because then he wouldn't be able to train.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He wants to train to be the best. That's pretty much his prime thing,
Yeah. And
So
I think
getting bumped in the head,
I'm glad Akira Toriyama didn't make him a superhero, but again, I have no problems. I understand that modern audiences back then couldn't handle Goku's characterization if he was who he is now, because that would have been a little harsh, and people would have found it hard to root for him, because how can they root for somebody who's not a superhero?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we still love Goku, no matter what.
Absolutely.
We love the character. We love the character that he is. He
I
doesn't.
still love him. I mean, even though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Moscow.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, I agree. I mean, everything that we love about Goku, it still stands. I mean, I'm okay with and the character himself has grown along with us. It's just that, I mean,
He doesn't go too much though.
Yes, but
there's not much character development with Goku.
Well, no, absolutely.
He's pretty much a man-child.
Yeah, but Masako, as Masako said, he's in his 40s now, so that excuse really can't be used anymore, because he's a grown man. He's middle-aged. Right.
But he still kind of acts the same, somewhat the same as when we first knew him from Dragon Ball.
Yes, I agree.
But at the same time, we still love him. We still love the character, no matter what.
I love seeing him triumph and over victories. I love seeing him get stronger. I love seeing him spending what little time he can with his family. I love seeing. It's just a joy to watch him do what he does. But I would prefer to have the character as he is instead of what other people want him to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want Goku to be a superhero and wear a costume and go around saving people, because then even the character himself would admit that that's not best for him. That's not what makes him him. He would feel that I'm not suited to this. I'm just who I am, and I'm okay with that.
And I think that's the biggest charm about him, is that he's more relatable to the average Joe.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
Compared to another superhero that I don't know if we should talk about it, but anyway.
Masako, he said he's okay with us talking about this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just did mention the Big Blue Boy Scouts, so I really want to. I really want us to talk about this, but not in the way people think we're going to talk about this, because I'm really tired of seeing the matchup between Goku and the Big Blue Boy Scout, because it's
Captain
tiring.
America?
Yeah, but Masako, if you could you?
I'm just joking around.
Could you tell us what it was like working on Death Battles Goku versus Superman?
Well, there's not really much to say, really. I mean, it was a lot of fun to do. I mean, we initially had that contact with doing Vegeta versus Shadow.
Yes.
Had that one, and they were saying that they really wanted to do a Goku versus Superman. And I said immediately, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we heard more about it a year later, and I got a script. And basically, I read it, and I knew the result.
Okay.
So I definitely knew the result. I was like,
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I recorded for it, but it was still a lot of fun to do, because it was like, oh, cool! It's like loads of screams and stuff and power ups, and I get to experiment with different voices. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a thing. It came out okay. And then they came back to me 2.5 years later, asking whether I'd like to do part 2, and I said, yeah, sure. And I was at a convention at the time, and I remember getting an email with the script. And I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I was reading it, I went, oh, come on.
I know, right? I know.
I was just thinking, oh man, really?
I know.
I said, a lobotomy, really?
I remember.
There's nothing there to lobotomize.
Exactly.
Oh.
Right now. How can Superman lobotomize Goku's brain? How is that even?
I'm surprised his brain is like, what? Let's keep fighting.
Exactly. I just would have imagined that's how it would have went. Like, Goku gets his brain fried, and it's just like, that didn't even hurt me. You know, it's funny, Masako, because I remember I don't know about everybody else, but my experience with the Goku versus Superman Death Battle, the first time I saw it, I remember it was my final year of high school, and I remember the hype for that was crazy. Like, everybody was talking about that on the internet. Like, it was like the drug of the internet. Like, it brought back the debate, and it was talked about for a whole year. And I remember when I saw Goku lost, I wasn't as upset as many people were. I was actually okay with the Big Blue Boy Scout winning. It didn't make me hate him. It just made me, at least Goku put up a great fight. I will still to this day say I actually liked the outcome of the first fight. But then when the second fight came out, and of course I was happy that, oh, finally, can Goku get a win? But in my heart, I knew something tells me Superman's going to win again. But I was out of town, at a reunion with my girlfriend, and I watched the convention live, and I see it live. And I just remember when I saw Goku getting lobotomized, I had my head down like, aw, boo.
I like the second ending better than the first one, honestly, because I just don't see Soups blowing up the world just to kill one guy. I mean, that just seems kind of crazy, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, Goku would, theoretically. I mean, because if he's that determined, maybe he would. But I just loved Masako. I love that you were cast as Goku, Masako, because who else could have played him? And I loved your interactions with It's Just Some Random Guy, because as soon as I found out he was going to be Superman, I remember I was like, MasakoX and It's Just Some Random Guy, they're my favorite YouTubers. I love them. It's just like, let's do it.
But he was definitely a very what's the word? He was It's Just Some Random Guy was really good in terms of the
he was.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of his YouTube series, and when I heard he was going to play Goku, I was like, that's perfect, because he does have that voice, and I loved the interactions. But I was a little sad, though, that you had to come back for Goku and then die again. It's just like, oh, come on. But I did love that bit you guys did, where Goku's accepting the fact that, yeah, if I can't beat if I beat Superman, then what do I have to inspire to? Like, I really liked that bit at the end.
That was a highlight for me.
Me too.
Kind of like the get out of jail free thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's beautiful though.
like, Goku, are you even listening to me?
I wanted to ask you a quick question, Masako.
Yeah.
Like how, with the result of Dragon Ball, that battle, with Superman versus Goku, and how Screw Attack was getting flack for it. Did you get any backlash for it for participating in the production of the, like doing the voice and even knowing, like people know that you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z? Like, did anyone give you any a hard time about it?
Not at the time, no. But I've had a couple of people email me out of desperation saying, please don't go back if there's a third one.
Yeah.
Screw Attack are no good.
Screw Attack have already said they're not doing a third one.
Well, you never know.
Yes.
Well,
20 million viewers, can't be wrong.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
I'm honestly, if Masako,
please don't let it be a Goku versus Superman.
If you don't go back as Goku, I just think everyone's gonna be even more pissed because they're like, oh, why did you not get Masako to come back? He was so good.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'd still do it.
Yeah. Well, what was it like though? Did you like to play a more serious version of the character in these two battles? Like, were you excited that oh my goodness, I'm gonna actually take more of a greater role with this?
Well, there wasn't really much difference, to be honest. He was just it was just Goku. He wasn't being serious most of the time. He was just kind of just doing his thing.
Yes.
But it was just really just deep, making his voice slightly deeper, a bit more kind of monotone.
Yes, I loved your Super Saiyan 4 voice. Like, that was just, oh my god, it was amazing.
I think I
just love that whole moment.
I think I went a little bit too far with that one.
Oh.
But
instead I was going, it's over, Superman. I'm basically we too deep. I'm like,
I can't look back to GT with Sean. It'd probably be just like, so Goku's up here. So basically, I think Super Saiyan 4 would be down here. Something kind of like that. So, yeah, come on, Vegeta. It's totally like that. Something a bit more subtle.
Yeah,
that sounds really good. Just saying.
You kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I like your different performances as characters, like as regular Goku with Kaioken, with Super Saiyan.
Kaio what?
Yeah, Super Saiyan 1.
I can't resist. Okay.
Your Super Saiyan 3 voice, I really liked. It's just I liked how your voice changed progressively as as Goku changed and did all of his transformations at the time. Like, it was very nice to see. And speaking of that, like, was it a fun experience being a part of the first one and then coming back? It's just like, was the first time better than the second time?
I would say it had a lot more impact.
Baby.
Yeah.
It had a lot more impact, really.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like this was part of, like, internet history almost.
Yes.
One of the internet's biggest asked questions.
Yes.
And I was being part of it.
Yeah.
And that was so cool.
Yeah. It was good because I was definitely... I think I speak for all of us when we loved on how you were able to be a part of that. And regardless if you got to voice a character that was going to lose, I just love on how you put your heart out into it and you just say, I'm just gonna do what I do and just go from there. I just loved on how you gave a great performance, because I don't even get sad or mad when Goku loses in the first one, because your performance was so great that the way you were interacting with it's just some random guy, it's just like, I can't even be mad or sad about this because the interactions between you two were so great.
There was great chemistry.
Yes, very much so. And I liked on how you both came back for the second one, even though Superman won again. But I just loved seeing you put your heart out as Goku. And I just love seeing you participate in these great battles, regardless if the outcome wasn't to every fan's liking.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's just I can't really. Oh, I don't really know. It just feels like with these kind of things, you can't really like make a joke, or you can't really not take it seriously with Goku.
Yes.
He's such a character with very, very strong emotions.
Of course.
I feel like if you were half-assing it, then it would just not feel right, and you'd be doing the character a disservice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I would just say that you kind of have to, and there's a lot of love for Goku and Dragon Ball in general. So
absolutely,
I'm more than happy to just put this is something I've personally been part of for the last 20 years almost.
Yeah, well,
so, yeah.
Well, speaking of Goku versus Superman, because I don't think a lot of I don't know if I'm the only one who knows this, but you actually voiced the character again in K&K Productions, Goku with the GoPro, and there was a moment where Goku and Superman fought, but this time, Superman got owned.
Oh yeah, no, as soon as the guys saw that, because the K&K Production guys, I know them in real life.
Yeah.
As soon as they showed me that, I just went, that's great.
Yeah.
And I think I threw in a bit of improv where he just goes like, jerk.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, hey, Superman, here's the fight. And then I just do that, wow, you're really slow.
Exactly.
And he's just like, jerk.
Exactly. I loved that. And I just loved it. That was the first time you voiced the character in something live action related. And I loved on how you voiced this character.
Let's try to stay clear of Dragon Ball live action stuff. We don't want to get into that thing that shall not be named.
Don't worry. We pretty much bleached it out of our minds. We haven't even thought about talking about it. So
nope. I just loved on how you got to voice the character in live action, Masako, and that was a great performance. Just seeing Goku, I've always wanted to know, what if Goku did have a GoPro? Like, what would he do with that? Like, how would his day go on knowing that he has a camera on his head that's, tracking his every movements and showing what he's doing through our eyes or through his eyes?
Had a bad thought.
Well, it was just like, they were just saying, oh, we have this really cool idea for Goku with the GoPro. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome. And I don't just love that video because of the Superman getting owned part. I love it because it was just awesome to see Goku in live action with your voice dubbed over it and him just flying around, collecting the Dragon Balls. And, it's a typical day for him. I just love seeing that.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Oh, I'm really kind of like, it was such a cool experience, really.
Mm-hmm.
No, I loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you did. Like I said, I loved it just as much. I've seen the video. I've watched it a lot when it came out, and it was just an amazing project that shows that it wasn't about Dragon Ball being done in live action, right? It was just more about, this is what Goku would do if he had a GoPro. Like, let's have him go look for the Dragon Balls and, see what happens and have it go from there. I just love that little. It almost felt like a slice of life episode from the show, but a different kind of take on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking of something else we need to talk about because we're almost out of time right now. But I wanted to quickly talk about two shows that came after Dragon Ball Z, which was Dragon Ball GT and of course Dragon Ball Super. Now, fans of the Dragon Ball series kind of want to ignore Dragon Ball GT.
Everybody who wants to ignore Dragon Ball GT.
Pretty much everybody. Yeah, like they say that it's not canon anymore. That Super is now canon to the whole franchise. But what did your guys' opinions on GT when it first came out?
Well, I think the thing is, though, the way I saw it is that I think GT never stood a chance.
Absolutely.
It never stood a chance. it did the best it could, because Toriyama wasn't involved. I mean, he did a little bit. He did some character designs and some overview from the beginning, sort of like what he was doing for Super, sort of, but in a far lesser capacity.
Yes.
And it was there. And the reason why they did GT is because they were going like, oh no, Z's going to end. What are we going to do? We need the money train to continue. So, well, Toriyama gave his blessing. So, okay, fine. If you want to carry on, you can carry on. But I don't want to have anything to do with it because I want to have a break.
Yeah.
Have a Kit Kat.
So, yeah, like a Kit Kat bar. But he was just like, no, I need a break from this. I've been doing this thing for 10 years. I need a rest.
Yes.
So he didn't have that input, and it was just not the same. They were just bringing nostalgic things back. They couldn't be brave and not make Goku a kid or not have Goku in it at all. And I think I've come up with like many ways that you could fix that, the entire show. I'm just trying to remember.
I do remember watching that video of yours.
Yes. One of them was definitely have Goku either killed or incapacitated.
Yes.
Wow.
So, yeah. So basically, you would just have to have him, like, in a way that he can be brought back if you need him to be.
Yes.
But he's not around for the first arc.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll be honest with you. When I first watched it, when I was little, the first episodes I've ever watched from GT was the Super 17 saga. But then I finally bought the box sets at Walmart for a very cheap price, and
yeah, same here.
And I was watching it from beginning to end, and I'm like, it's all over the place. And I was like, what? Like the story, I get what the story is going with, but like it was just all over the place in a way that it was like not very interesting. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things I kind of felt like it was definitely like what Masako said, like it was capitalizing on the money train for the Dragon Ball series, and also the transformations, which I don't mind. Super Saiyan 4.
I love Super Saiyan 4.
I just think that they kind of went way too crazy with the whole transformation bit.
Well, the thing is, though, with Super Saiyan 4, that was the creation of Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru, and he wasn't a newbie. He'd been like doing stuff in Z since the Bardock special, so he was around from the very early 90s. So he was there from pretty much the beginning of Z, and a little bit of Dragon Ball too. So he was a very trusted guy. He's basically, the relationship that he had with Toriyama is very similar to what Toriyama has with Toyotaro now.
Yeah.
Toyotaro, who's the guy who did the legendary manga Dragon Ball AF.
Yes, and who currently works on Dragon Ball
AF.
Right?
Yep, he did that. He was known as Toyball. And he did a couple of Dragon Ball Heroes manga, spin-off mangas, and now he was charged to do Super.
Yes.
And most people have actually said the manga is better than the anime, in that the story is quite different.
Yes.
And now Toyotaro is being brought on to help design characters with Toriyama. So if you look at most of the new Gods of Destruction, they are created by Toyotaro, the designs.
Yes.
So yeah, he's slowly becoming more and more ingratiated with the series, and I think Toriyama actually really appreciates having someone who is creative like Toyotaro to bounce ideas off.
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear what the clown guy's backstory is. The clown god of destruction.
Yeah.
Well, actually, most people say
well,
they actually have names now.
Yes, they do.
The Universal 11 God of Destruction, the clown one's I think called Vermood or Bermood, and the fox one is called Likia.
I'm still calling him Tails just because.
These are awesome.
Well, I can't. Well, no, don't worry, I made that tweet too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Geekdom 101 brought up that that the voice of that character is the same voice who voiced Future Trunks, Kid Trunks, but he's more recognized for being the Japanese voice of Sonic. Yeah, and I think that's just amazing. But back to GT really quick. I don't mind. I don't hate GT as much as others do. I mean, even though it's not in the canon, just because it's not canon, that doesn't mean that okay, people should bash on it without giving it a chance, because it was hard to capitalize. It's like Masako, you and Duo said, they were trying to capitalize on this franchise and keep making money, but it was kind of hard for them to follow up on Z, because how could they take it from there? And I did like the baby arc and the other arcs after that, but the first arc, it's really all over the place, yes, and I get what they were trying to do, and I liked that idea. If Akira Toriyama would have still been on, I think he would have maybe given it more and given it more time to escalate to where, okay, it's not as good as the other arcs, but it's pretty good. But because he wasn't involved in it the way he used to be, I just feel like they were trying way too hard to recapture the Z feeling. But at the end of the day, I still like and appreciate GT. I love the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. I love the baby arc, the battle between Super Saiyan 4 Goku and baby Vegeta in his regular form and grade 8 form. That's amazing. And just seeing the ending, because everyone has usually agreed that the ending of GT is usually the best part, because it really does appropriate on how the show would end. Like, it's an appropriate ending to how the show would have ended if it was still going on strong. But I just love GT. Sorry, go ahead.
GT is very good, and I feel like there are so many things that could be done really well. I mean,
absolutely,
there are the concepts of the stories were really, really good, and like they had a lot of potential. They were just poorly executed.
Absolutely, and I feel as if, again, going back to what I just said, if it was given more time and they hadn't rushed it out just to capitalize on it, I think it just would have been above average and people would understand it more. But now that, again, they baked it for so long, why is this out? Like, now that it's not canon, every Dragon Ball fan has put this series down and immediately say, it's not canon, it's not canon. You can't even, every time you try and talk about Dragon Ball GT, immediately the first thing everyone says, it's not canon. Why are you even talking about it? Without giving it its just due.
Dragon Ball history in terms of franchise, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, I liked it. I really liked it, and I liked what it was trying to do, and I liked on how it wanted to be different from Akira Toriyama's original versions, but it just came up a little bit short, and unfortunately, it didn't last that long to improve, because by season 2 is when things got a lot better, and I personally think if season 1 would have been fixed and better executed, better written, and not all over the place. We got to go to this planet, and now we got to go to that planet. Let's go to this planet. Like, if they would have slowed down, then maybe the first season would have been a great starting point to the show getting 4 or 5 seasons, and it would have been what we're going to talk about soon. It would have been what Dragon Ball Super is now becoming. But sadly, that was not the case. But I'll always love the show, and I'll always appreciate it on how different it was. And it was nice to at least see them try and do something different and not just rehash the same old thing. The only thing everybody, including myself, would have liked is why did you need to make Goku a child again? Just keep him an adult and have him for these universes, because that's always a problem I have. The fact that Sean Schemmel was only voicing Goku for 1 episode, and then, okay, now he doesn't come back until the baby arc begins. He's just around. He's just around. He's not in the forefront. He's just around when he goes Super Saiyan 4. I felt they could have done that way better, but that's just how I see it. I don't see Dragon Ball GT as a bad series or even a bad anime. I just see it as an above average anime that is good to watch if you're if you just take Dragon Ball out of it.
Would you call it an experiment?
I call it a money grab.
Yeah.
Yes, I would call
I
it a
agree with
money grab.
Masako.
It was a cash grab.
I would call it a cash grab experiment.
It was live
Right.
support.
Exactly.
Basically, they were going to say, they were trying to think, oh, can we make Dragon Ball work without Toriyama? And so they
Yes.
were going into it with the wrong attitude.
Absolutely.
Right.
They should have made
And
their own version, like about the younger kids, in my opinion, like Pan and all them. Just keep them like at the forefront, but not have Goku or any of the original other characters there. Just them going off into space and running into a bunch of clever new characters, or maybe even rehashing the same thing that Dragon Ball did with Goku's story. You know,
Like say they talk about Vegeta,
like Harry Potter,
like that.
kind of like Harry Potter or something. You know, you got all these old characters coming back in every once in a while to show how awesome things were back in the day, and just building on that nostalgia. They could have done that, but they had some good things like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the most epic thing ever.
Yes.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Some bad things,
yeah.
Baby, General Realdo, which I call General Dildo still to this day. I hate that I'm a child like that, but that's the way I feel.
Omega Shenron too was probably one of my favorite villains from GT.
I love the Shenrons before that. They were more creative than Omega Shenron, in my opinion. Like the 4-star Dragon Ball guy was like the coolest dragon out of all of them, because he had way more characters, backstory and stuff, and all
Which
that.
one was that?
They had one dragon that was basically born from the wish of Oolong, wishing for panties, and it was a female dragon. You had that weird, annoying little robot called Giru. I mean, a lot of people probably love Giru. He's probably the most adorable thing in the world, but I just could not stand him.
Yeah.
You had some weird sexual assault deers going on.
The Android 17 stuff is what completely took me out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I about forgot about that. Yeah, 17, man.
Just bringing 17
awesome.
back, it was awesome to see 17 back, but to bring him back and have him fused with this other 17, which is the one that killed Krillin, I'm just like, okay, so they form into an Ultimate 17? Like, what? It's just like, why not just
I
have...
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was okay, but, I mean, I think we've all pretty much said that GT is not a bad show. It doesn't do a disservice to Dragon Ball, unlike another property that shall not be named. It doesn't do that. In many respects, I'll take Dragon Ball GT over that bastardized version any day of the week.
You mean Dragon Ball Smelvolution?
Yes, there you go.
I'm calling it that from now on.
The nightmares are coming back. Oh,
Yes, I just call it Evolution, because that it doesn't deserve to have Dragon Ball in the title, because
So just call it Smelvolution then.
yeah,
Smelvolution.
Smelvolution. There you go. Smelvolution is just bad for the sake of being bad. It's very bad, and I would take GT over that any day of the week.
Well,
I think everyone would.
That in itself was doomed from the start too.
Oh
'cause
God, yes.
They
Absolutely.
basically look. The executives are going like, okay, what are these kids like? They like the fighting and the punching people, and they like high schools. Yeah, they saw people like Lord of the Rings. They like Twilight. They yeah, and that, and then Toriyama, even though he was given an executive producer role, basically he was kind of ignored. He tried to suggest things to them, but he basically said they basically ignored him. And but at the same time, it spurred them on. But you have to thank Evolution, because without that, we never got Battle of Gods.
Exactly. We never got these movies.
That is true.
Toriyama was like just taking a whiz, and he saw that in the trailer or something. He's like, "What have they done to my baby?" Just went to work.
Well, the fact that they ignored him is what really pisses me off. But again, I think we could. I don't want to go too much into Smelvolution, because I feel like we could dedicate a whole video on why that's bad. But I'll just say this, ending off on it. GT if you don't like GT and you've never seen it, you need to watch it to give it a fair chance. You can't just say it's bad, because it's not canon, because Akira Toriyama wasn't involved in it, or this or that.
Just the thing, most of the Dragon Ball Z movies weren't canon, and people still love them.
Well, yes, that's true.
My favorite is BoJack. Just saying.
I'm just saying that if people are going to use that as a reason not to watch GT, then okay, then stop watching about Broly, stop watching about BoJack, stop watching about Cooler, because they weren't canon.
Exactly. Yeah. Or oh man, what's that other one? The one with the drag. Oh, God. Where with Tapion. What is that one called?
That Wrath of the Dragon.
Yes, thank you. That's it. That wasn't canon either, but it was still awesome, and I enjoyed it.
Super Dragon Fist.
Yes, out of nowhere, the Dragon Fist.
I'm probably spoiling a bunch of crap. I better shut up.
But Masako was mentioning about the movies, the recent movies. Well, not recent, but the newer movies that came out, which was Battle of Gods and Resurrection. What happened?
I said which ties into Dragon Ball Super.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about Super. I wanted to go first to tell you how I feel about Super, and
no, go
I
ahead.
know there are gonna be people that are not gonna like me right now. I am not a big fan of Super.
I'm gonna get this sword out if you say it.
I'm not a big fan of
Super.
Yeah, I said it already. It's mainly because I felt that with Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion, was a way to just end it altogether. But and yes, we had GT, but I felt like with Super, I felt like I understand it's trying to introduce new fans to the franchise and stuff, but I felt like I didn't think there's more to say about what goes on with Goku and his family and his friends. But although I did like the movie, like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, because it kind of reminded me how have anyone watched Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yes.
Okay. Like when they ended the show, they did a continuation where they did with the movies. Like Star Trek Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. And I was hoping when they came out with Battle of Gods that they were going to do something like that with the Dragon Ball characters. Like, okay, it's a new continuation, but it's in the movie form. So I didn't mind that. But then when I heard they were going to make a new series altogether, I was like, oh boy. So I'm like, I know this is what's going to come up. New forms, new this, more powerful enemies, which is pretty much the similar formula as Dragon Ball Z, that there's always someone stronger. And then you have the God of Destruction, Lord Beerus, who is pretty much one of the strongest characters, except for that one little what's that thing's name? That even Beerus
King, isn't it? Oh,
the Omni
King? Am I getting mixed up?
You're talking about Zeno.
Something like that, yeah. But but the thing was, I had a chance to watch Super for a little bit, but then it didn't hook me. It didn't hook me the way how Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z hooked me. And I just felt like with all these new powers and like Trunks coming back, I felt like it's more of a fan service than like let's tell a new story. You know what I mean? Like there is a story, but it's just like
right now, yes, there is a story. Well, yes, right now there is a story. There's a new story, and they do plan on, because Dragon Ball. I think Masako and myself can, mostly Masako, but I'll just say that Super had a rocky start. I'll give you that. I mean, I didn't like on how they had to retell the movies, but for the first one, it was okay. But the second one, the Resurrection F, I thought it was just a poor man's version. But then, I understand they just had to do what they had to do because, there's no better way to explain why they had to do the movie arcs.
Well, basically, they did it again because cash grab.
Yes.
Because they go, oh boy, that means we can basically just do the same thing again, and people will watch it. And honestly, and also, the problem with doing that is that animators were like, I don't want to draw this again. So they basically just jumped ship. They moved on to doing the One Piece Gold movie. That's what they did. And then basically they ran out of time.
The animation wasn't so good.
Yeah, they basically had more junior animators and or any animators that they did have jumped ship, and they announced it in late April to come out early July. So basically they only had like 2 months. They basically had not prepared. Ooh. And Toei were actually bypassing directors, as in like directors who would usually say, wait a minute, that doesn't look good, change it. They were going like, no. So directors were being circumvented.
Absolutely. I can see that.
Toei screwed it up.
Yes, they did.
Toei rushed it. They just rushed it.
Yes, and that's what I tell people, because I've tried so hard to tell people, like, if you don't want to watch if you basically don't want to watch these again, then just wait till episode 28, because that's where it gets going. Like,
I would say 27 actually, because episode 27 that was pretty intense.
Exactly. Yes, that's true. So start with episode 27, the end of the Resurrection F arc that goes into the Universe 6 arc, and there you go. Like, if they would have done
I basically say. That's what I basically say to people. I go, question, have you seen Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F? And I go, and if they go, yes, then I say, well, then with Super, go start at episode 27 and go from there.
But they're going to miss Captain Ginyu, man. Captain Ginyu.
Yeah.
Live without Ginyu.
That was the only highlight for the Resurrection F arc for me. Seeing Captain Ginyu return, it was pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, I agree, and I've told everybody who watches Super, it's just like, if you don't want to watch the movie arcs, just wait until the good stuff happens. Watch episode 27, go to the Universe 6 arc, go to the Goku Black arc, and then go to now, because Dragon Ball Super has gotten better. It really has gotten better, and the arcs have improved, and they've given them more time, and they now have more creative control to do what they need to do to give them the finished product. But with the first time around, it's like Masako said. They were basically saying, no, put it out. We need it now. I don't care if it's got bad animation. Put it out now. We need to get this done. And it's just like, why? I mean, you could have just given them more time, and then maybe the second arc would have been a little better. Because for me, I almost quit watching Dragon Ball Super after the Resurrection F arc. It's just like, this is bad. Like it doesn't explain or expand on anything we knew about the movie. Because the only problem I have with the Resurrection F movie is that they didn't go into full explanation on the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. They just said, oh yeah, Goku combined his God Ki with his Super Saiyan transformation, and boom, he has a new transformation. It's just like, okay, so there's no deep meaning behind it or anything. But I did like on how they tried in the arc, but again, they didn't go fully into it, and it was a huge mess. But they have gotten better now, and I will say, for anybody who complains about, oh, the animation is bad, they have bad arcs, they're rushed, it's just like, okay, you're right about one of those things, but if you think the animation's bad, watch the Goku Black arc. That had mostly flawless animation. The fights were even better, and everything has gotten a lot better.
Right.
My favorite thing about... take your guys' advice.
Oh, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that the main point of me watching it as a longtime fan is that it's the Frieza formula. Like, through the whole thing, you've got Beerus, and he's the top dog, and there's somebody more powerful than him, Whis, and you don't even know what's going to happen with these characters. You don't know if they're down the line, you're going to have to fight them and whatnot, and that's what keeps me watching it, because I want to see how much crazier it's going to get, and I want to see characters going through tough situations and overcoming them. That's my reason to watch it, but that's the way Dragon Ball Z's always been. So take that however you want.
The upcoming Universe Survival arc, that Masako even pointed this out, there are a lot of great things they can do if given the right potential, because the way it's going, we're going to explore 11 other universes and 11 other characters from those universes that we've never seen before. And that right there could be what makes Dragon Ball Super an even better successor than what it already is.
Okay.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your only mate, have you watched Super at all?
I was actually waiting for the dub, and I've just been like, mainly because I've already seen the movies. But at this point, I'm probably just gonna like wait.
That's a good idea. Like,
I mean, I might still watch it just for the hell of it.
yeah, because there are some episodes. There are some episodes that are really good. Like, there of the 2 previous arcs that are based on the movies. Like, there are some episodes that are good, and they do show that. Okay, if Battle of Gods and Resurrection F would have been a little longer, this is what would have happened. Because it is nice that Dragon Ball can have movies, but there are some things that are better to suit the show rather than the movie. Because the fight between Beerus and Goku, when Goku has Super Saiyan God, it's, in my personal opinion, the Battle of Gods movie version is great. But if it was dragged out a little bit, it would be even better. And it was. In the Battle of Gods arc in the beginning of Super, it is better because it's dragged out and you get to see Goku even learning how to control the Super Saiyan God form. Like, you actually see him, he's basically like a rookie where he's trying to learn how to control it, kind of like when him and Vegeta fused as Vegeta. Like, they really wanted to test their new powers and body to see what they were capable of.
So can I say one thing I haven't liked about the dub, like from the earliest episodes? That toilet water thing. It's just that thing in one of the first dubbed episodes when Goten and Trunks get Videla present and they're just talking about toilet water. That was a bit
too much.
Yeah. Just also, if someone handed me a jug saying, "Oh, this is for your face," it's toilet water, I'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm not using that."
And then throw it on them.
Actually, yeah, that I'll do. I know it's a translation error thing.
Being extremely careful not to get none on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're pretty much out of time right now, but before we go, we're gonna ask each other one more question about Dragon Ball, and I think this would be fun to talk about.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. He wanted to. This guy Yin Igma. He wanted to ask one question: if Masako was to assign us each a character to voice act from Dragon Ball Z, who would it be? And I've got to hear this. I got to know.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
No prep.
All right. Well, with Duo, I kind of would want to see you do like a really tough guy interpretation of Berta.
Berta. Oh, okay.
I feel like, yeah.
I
And
don't remember how he talks. Berta.
Just say you're the fastest
pretty
in the
much the
universe.
strongest in the universe.
Yeah,
but
there.
he went to the snake guy thing, but I feel like he could be something a bit more tough.
Yes.
Really.
Well, I am the fastest thing in the universe. I don't know. I tried. I'm not that good at voice acting.
That's pretty good.
Spectral, I hate to say it, but I think kind of like almost in the dub Android 13.
Oh, that's cool. I'm fine with that, man. I was so happy to see you giving some.
Look at my trucker hat.
Okay, I want to hear Spectralstar say that.
I can't remember what was one of his lines, and I'll try it.
Just
Don't you be fighting me with that $30 haircut.
Don't you be fighting me with that $30 haircut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Rich, probably, if you kind of like shonified it and made it like a bit more like youthful, I think you could probably do a decent Kaba.
Kaba. Oh, from Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I want you to teach me. I need to know, how can I be like you? Please, I'll do anything.
It's almost like Captain Kirk.
I think that's the thing. You're doing upwards inflections.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you're almost kind of like being Australian. You can say, "I'll basically do anything."
Okay.
So you kind of almost like you just kind of like you can like keep it down. So it's like
keep it down.
In terms of the intensity and the enthusiasm, yes, you got that. But it's just
all
like,
right. Let me try one more time.
All right.
I understand. I'll train harder to get better, like you. I will unlock this power.
I think no. I think that was the thing because if you notice it, I will do this, unlock this power. You don't need to do it. The way I see it with these things is that voice acting is like a sentence is like a piece of string.
Okay, piece of string.
And the way you do your upwards inflections and down inflections, it's like drawing the lines up and down with that string, like moving it up and down.
Okay.
So you kind of like, please, I'll do anything to get to be as strong as you. Yeah. So basically, yeah. I want to know. I've seen this power and I need to see it more. Tell me how I can attain it, Master.
This is so fucking awesome.
Okay. Master.
Oh my god.
Master, I've gotten better with my Super Saiyan transformation. Please teach me about the blue form.
Better, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Better, yeah. I think with practice, I think that natural inflection upwards is something a bit more ingrained. But I think with practice you could get that out. Yeah,
I'm a small voice. I've auditioned, and I'm actually friends with the voice of Dr. Aikman, Mike Pollock, and yeah, but also too, thank you. I love getting lessons because I basically do. Yeah, like I love when voice actors give me lessons and something to go off by because I'm not going to be that show off and say, oh, I can do this voice easily. So it's like, no, I need to know, okay, so where do you want it? Like upwards, downwards, or somewhere in the middle. And it does take me a while to get used to it, but yeah, thank you. I definitely try my best to do what I can with my voice. Right. Yes. Your only mate, what do you got for him?
I think basically, I'd probably say like because in the Ocean dub, Zarbon actually had a bit of Cockney in him.
Oh wow,
Zarbon.
Because if you go back to the old, because all right, Vegeta, how you doing there? You're not supposed to be around here, mate. Yeah.
I do not remember Zarbon.
Yeah, no, Zarbon was like in the Ocean dub.
Yeah.
The Pioneer dub, like in the old one, right when Dragon Ball was new.
My memory of that is very fuzzy.
He's walking around with a pink blob named Dodoria. That's Frieza.
Beautiful and fertile woman on my planet. I am a woman.
What?
It's like a dwarf thing, a dwarf village.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Oh, someone was asking me to do
thick, meaty.
You're a better redneck than I am.
Someone was asking me to do Hercule Satan. I'm like, really?
I want to hear that.
That's the
I'll
voice
give it a try. Yeah, I am the world heavyweight champion of the world in the martial arts tournament. I am Hercule Satan. I don't know.
That was good.
Good. I can see that.
How do I sound French? What?
What?
I am the Hercule Satan.
Sorry, just in the chat, who knew your only mate was French? What?
But
how did that come from?
The last question I wanted to ask each of us is, if you collected all the Dragon Balls, what would your wish be? And this is from Shenron, not from Purunga, where you get 3 wishes.
Oh, come on.
No, 1 wish.
All right.
Okay, I can definitely go first on this one.
Yeah, sure.
I would write a book with the exact life that I would want. Everything. Write that book in a book. And then I would basically say to Shenron, make it happen.
Wow.
Make it happen.
You get everything and you say, make it happen.
Yeah.
It is
Just turns you into a book or something.
No. Basically, you would write everything you could possibly want in this book, and just go make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get
awesome.
so many wishes in one.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do that because they like resurrected like 80 people at one point,
Yeah.
and they should only like resurrect one at a time or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your only mate, what would you wish for?
It'll come back to me. I need to think about this.
Okay. All right, Richard, what would you wish for?
Oh man. Well, that's hard because I mean I wouldn't want any material items. Because I feel like I just wouldn't be like I wouldn't be that selfish. But if I was given a wish, if I had to make a wish, I would say, okay. Basically, all I want is that I wish that me and my girlfriend have a great marriage and we live to be the age of 80, and then boom, just like we live to grow old together. That's what I would wish for.
Well, that's mighty noble of you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I don't like I said. Everybody would say, "Oh, Richard would wish to be a Jedi or have Avatar powers." It's like no. Realistically, or not even money. I wouldn't even wish for money because I mean, even though it'd be the appropriate thing, like give me all this money. It's just like no, I would want to live to the old age with my girlfriend, happily married. That's what I want.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
Spectralstar, what would you wish for?
Well,
Cars.
Really, Rich?
I'm sorry.
cars.
Really, Rich?
Sorry.
No more cars. Every truck in the world, replace them.
Like, man.
If I was gonna wish for something, there's so many things that you can wish for to better the world and everything. The main thing is that I would probably want depression and sadness to be gone from everybody's life, because you can have stuff happen to you, and the way that you deal with it, it can be pretty rough on a lot of people, and some people just don't even care and just go about their business. I'd want people to be like that. If I could wish for something, that would be like the one thing that I would wish for, because it solves so many problems.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Honestly though, I feel like you need to have a little bit of sadness in your life, only to make the joyful parts that more special.
Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
Just a little bit, like
So
almost like, oh, they don't have my favorite bacon sandwich. Oh.
Yeah. So just wish for a little.
That means you come back the next day. You come back the next day, and then there are 3, and you go like, yee!
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't eaten since my break at work, so I'm pretty hungry at this point.
Well, I think we better wrap this up, so that means you can go and get something to eat now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's waiting for me downstairs.
Right.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up.
That's
like
okay.
That bacon sandwich.
I can go for a while.
Okay. Well, have you decided what your wish is, your only mate?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
Is it that bacon sandwich?
That would be if I had 2 wishes. Well, I don't know, but I think I would just wish for, I guess, the cure for cancer. Really, like just something like that. Just something that we're trying to achieve. Just finally gets it, and all the people that you could help from doing that.
Absolutely, I can see that.
The cure for everything bad ever.
Yes. What about
illnesses?
Yeah. Did you state your wish, Duo Dreamer?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. At first, I was gonna say, I like to have the ability to teleport, because I've always.
Then we got all deep and philosophical and shit, and that just went right out the window.
With your guys' wish, like for so much unselfish things, I had to think another thing. I was like, if there was one thing I would wish for is, all of us can be friends. You know, like the whole world. Like, yes, we'll have some conflict, a little bit of conflict, but not to the point where we're trying to kill each other.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about all of us. It's like, aren't we
No,
all?
yeah, you know what I mean. You know, but because I remember there's a song from Queen that I like when they say like that time will come, one day we'll see where we can all be friends, and like that's something I've always wanted, like coexistence. Like even though we have different opinions about how life should be, how we run our country, you know, we can still be friends and be civil. You know what I mean? That's something I would definitely do for.
Peace on earth.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Goodwill.
Damn, those are all good wishes.
and I know it's something that you probably hear at like a Miss America pageant, but you know what?
Your wish is granted.
But anyway, guys, once again, this has been fun, you know, doing this podcast with you guys, and to have our very special guest, MasakoX, joining us to take time out of his to join us. Thank you very much, Masako, for this, and
thank you, sir.
We'll definitely be, watching your work. Especially, I'm already subscribed to Team Force. So I've been watching it for years, and can't wait to see what you have to offer on the table for that and your other projects.
Well, thanks very much, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for also being a good friend to all of us, Masako. Even though we just met, but already.
I'm still sorry I showed up late.
No, don't worry about it, man. Yeah, you had things to do.
At least you come. At least you came. You know, better late than never, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you
again, Masako. I'm glad. This isn't just a podcast for us. It's a way for us to meet new people and just see how good chemistry we have. And already we welcome you to the Nerdbender family. It's just an amazing. No, you're welcome. You definitely deserve it. And if it would be okay, because I know it would be kind of a waste if we did not do this, but would it be okay if we all ended on a Kamehameha together? Like all of us just.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, man.
Okay. Whenever you guys are ready.
Okay.
You want to, all right. Should we do the count of 3?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Oh God, that was awesome. I like it. I love that. All right, guys. It's great. All the people who joined us, thank you for joining us. And
the chat just got hilarious.
Someone put nail gun.
Nail gun, special beam cannon.
All right. But anyway, guys, for the people who joined us, thank you so much for watching our podcast and joining us. And please go subscribe to Richard Korra Kenobi's channel, Spectralstar's channel, and Your Only Mate's channel. And also, most importantly, subscribe to MasakoX's channel if you haven't. And also follow everyone on Twitter. All right, guys. So.
And off with our catchphrases.
Yeah, we're going to do our catchphrases. So this is Dual Dreamer, and I'm going to say to everyone, always dream big.
This is Richard Korra Kenobi saying thank you, and may the force be with you all.
I'm Spectralstar, and wax on, wax off.
Insert my tracer outro here.
Well, until next time, guys. Catch you later.
All right. All right, guys. So see you guys and take care.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What did I say?